Welcome back to Speducation. I am your host, Brandon Reed, and as always, if this is your first time to the channel, a special welcome to you. Well, hopefully you had a nice, relaxing holiday, and it's a new week, so we have a new lesson. What are we going to be learning about? Today's lesson, questions parents of special needs students can ask a school. Now, the purpose of this channel is to better inform parents and to answer questions related to special education in general. But there may be some questions that you have that are specific to your school. And for those questions, you probably don't know what questions to ask. So I went ahead and made a video for you. So, if you ever find yourself debating on which school is best for your special needs child, feel free to utilize the questions below to help you make a decision. And feel free to check out the links to other questions that you can ask a school about your child's education in the description of this video. So, the first question is, how many students in the school have IEPs? How many in specific grades? Now, the school can't specifically tell you who those students that have IEPs are, but they can tell you the number of IEPs that they do have and how many for each grade. What is your school's model for special education? Do you offer any small specialized classes for students who may need this modification? This is a good question to ask because you want to know what type of specific service your child may be needing, or what type of specific services the school can offer. How do they deal with behavior issues? Do teachers have training in ABA or teaching children with disabilities? This is always good because, again, a lot of schools and a lot of teachers may not necessarily have the training that they require, or they may be trained, but it's only specific teachers that are trained to do this. Does the school have positive behavior support, and are staff trained in these techniques? And how often? And how do these plans interact with behavior intervention plans? There's a lot of information in here that parents need to know about because if your child suffers from some sort of behavior issue or emotional disability like anxiety, okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative behavior like troublemaking, but if they have anxiety and certain issues, it's important to know, is there any kind of support system in place, positive behavior support system that can help your child? How many special education teachers does the school have, and how they divide their duties by grade or by class or by high need? What is their caseload? And something else that you could also ask is how many instructional assistants or paraprofessionals there are. Because special ed teachers, well, I mean, they can do a lot, but they can't be in more than one place. So what they do is they have paraprofessionals. They have instructional assistants that help relegate some of those responsibilities. Because again, special ed teachers can't be in more than one place at one time. So it's always important to ask how your child is going to be serviced and who's going to service them. Who serves as the special education coordinator? Who serves as the student's case manager? Now, the student's case manager will be established when you do the move-in, but the special education coordinator may work in the building or they may not. I know for Perry Township in Indianapolis, the special education coordinator works in several buildings, but they operate out of the central office. So if you're curious about who's in charge of all of the special ed teachers, that would be the special education coordinator, and it's good to know who they are. How do you support students who are below grade level in reading, math, and writing? This is a great question because it doesn't necessarily just apply to students with learning disabilities. This also can apply to regular general education students because if they have a support system in place to help students, then it's definitely going to help your special needs students. I'm thinking of things like Read 180, programs like that that help build up those reading levels so that they can get to grade level standards. And how do you support students who have organizational difficulties? or challenges making friends, fitting in socially. A lot of students, including my son, has autism. And even though he's high on the spectrum and you'd never really know that he's autistic, he does have a problem with socializing. He gets very anxious when he's in unknown or unfamiliar settings, and so it's hard for him to socialize. So this would be really good for students that have those types of disabilities or anxieties or fears. Now, these aren't just the only questions. There are a lot of other questions out there. And even though I can put all of them on here, that would be a really long video. But if you want to check out the description of this video, I've included some links that you can click on that will take you to some sites where you can find some questions that you can ask your school specifically. Because the thing is that I can cover a lot of information and a lot of material on this channel. But with special education, it's specialized. That means it's specific to the individual student and it's specific to the school. So if you have any specific questions, feel free to research the school that you're looking at or research the school that your kid goes to and see if there are any questions that you may have for that specific school. And as always, if you liked what you saw, you learned something new, or you're new to the channel, please click that like button. And if you want updates on future videos, feel free to click the subscribe button and ring the bell for updates on future videos. And if you have any questions about special education that's not necessarily specific to a school, but just in general, please, by all means, feel free to drop a line in the comments section and I'd be happy to answer it. And until next time, class dismissed.